back from a week in New York, in the city, and it was actually a very enjoyable time. Stayed mostly in Brooklyn, some in Queens, some in the Bronx, but anyway, we had a great family time. There's now a Joyner lawyer. I'm not sure what that means, but anyway, we're very proud of our daughter Amber and all she's accomplished. She's such a self-starter, so independent, and she knows or believes she's supposed to do something. She goes at it with all of her heart. Did a great job. She's one of only 9 in her whole class that passed the bar, the New York bar, before she graduated from law school. And but quite an accomplishment, and also a relief that she doesn't have to now just start cramming for the bar. It's done. New York bar is one of the toughest there is, but if you pass it, you can pretty much are allowed to practice in virtually any state. And but anyway, I'm not sure how all that works, but she's done good. She's already got a job in Manhattan with a pretty big law firm. She's hoping to stay there at least 2 years, but then wants to move on. I mean, she's, but I think she's going to feel her way through and determine really what kind of law she wants to practice yet and things like that. But anyway, thanks for all your comments and your prayers and all for my family and me. I navigate. I've never walked that far, that much. I haven't walked that much, even close to that much, since I had my stroke. And under, pretty intense crowds and all, going to Yankee Stadium, navigating all that, my legs held up fine. I mean, I really, after doing all that, I feel great. And took it as a challenge to get in even better shape, keep going, keep that momentum going. And but I am so thankful to be back in Moravian Falls. If there's a heaven on earth, there's a paradise on earth, this is it. And, I am so thankful for it. When I got home, it took me about 30 minutes to calm my dogs down. I mean, they went berserk. They were so excited, so happy, but they were acting like I was feeling. Just to be back here, and, I've said before, I've got it so good in this life. I love my job, got an awesome family, got, able to live here and also have, be a part of what's going on in Fort Mill at our church and base there. And I love this job. I love it. People say, well, we're sorry you had to jump back in it and all. No, I wake up every day and say, Lord, what is your will? I want to do that, and I always enjoy it. There are hard times, there are challenges, of course, and we went through some last year, in a pretty big way, but, as Winston Churchill once said, when you're going through hell, keep going. And we kept going. Now we're doing better, I think, getting stronger all the time. The staff is stronger. Just everything seems to be on a major upswing for us in our ministry now. And just really thankful for all that. That's not my doing. It's over my head. All I do is show up and try to do what I'm told every day. And I love it. I love my boss. He is the best. And he's also our father. So it's a family business. And what a great thing, you know. But anyway, I was just looking out over the valley here this morning. It's got to be one of the most stunningly beautiful places. I've been to all the stunningly beautiful places in the world. And I admit some of them are, you know, they seem like out of another realm. But, you know, we need to focus on every day being appreciative and thankful and grateful for every day. And if we will have that attitude, even if it's a hard day, you'll enjoy it. And you'll at least be fulfilled in doing what you are supposed to do. The Lord never allows us to be tempted beyond what we're able to endure, which means if you ever reach a place where the challenges in your life are about to overwhelm you, when it's about to get more than you can endure, know this, you're at the end of it. Just hang on a little bit longer and you'll see the end. He will not let that happen to you. He will not let you be overcome by your trials and challenges. But he's in all these things seeking to discipline us so that he can use us not just in this age, but in the age to come. And this life really has become a popular cliche. It is training for reigning. And we are called to reign in the age to come with him. And he's preparing us for us. So many people have the sense that, well, when the Lord comes, everything's going to be perfect. Everybody will be perfect. I don't know which Bible they're reading, but that's not what's in my Bible. You know, the millennial reign of Christ is what Peter called the period of the restoration of all things. It's not going to happen instantly. There's going to be a period, and it's a 1,000-year period when the Lord is going to restore the earth. The kingdom is going to come, and his will be done on earth as it is in heaven. But it's not instantaneous. Has anything that God has done in our life, our experience with him, has he ever done it instantly? Did he make you instantly perfect when you were born again? No. We enter the period, the transformation period. We need to have our minds renewed. We need all kinds of discipline and things. And that's what this life is about. Now, Lord, no question, he could do it. He is almighty, all-powerful, omniscient. I have no question in my mind he could make us all instantly perfect. But I do have a question, and I have evidence that's not the way he likes to do things. He likes the process, because the process of having our minds renewed, the discipline of, being delivered from sin and the sinful nature strengthens us. We'll be able to keep it. The word that Paul used for having our minds renewed was the Greek word metamorphosis, that we get the English word metamorphosis from. Metamorpha, I think, is the Greek word. But now, of course, that's the challenge that a caterpillar goes through of being transformed into a butterfly. Now, a caterpillar is a worm that crawls on the earth. It is confined to the earth. It must conform to the contours of the earth. And that's our earthly nature. It's our natural nature. But then it goes through this transformation in a cocoon And then comes out a butterfly that can soar high above the earth. No longer has to conform to what's going on the earth. That's the way we're supposed to live in this life. We'll certainly do it in the next life, but he wants us to do that in this life. But they say, they've had people seeing the incredible struggle that a caterpillar goes through or a butterfly goes through just getting out of that cocoon. And people have tried to help it by cutting open the cocoon for it, and the butterfly dies. Why? Because it's the incredible battle that it goes through, struggle to get free of that cocoon that it needs to strengthen itself to be able to flap those big wings and fly. Otherwise, it's conformed to the earth again. The Lord didn't want it to be easy. If he wanted it to be easy, he would have bound Satan immediately upon his resurrection. He had the authority to do that. All power and authority was given to him. It says the whole world lies in the power of the evil one. But it doesn't lie in the authority of the evil one. All authority has been given to Jesus. And in due time, he's going to take his power over the earth when he's through letting the conditions that are here now transform us into a beautiful new creation that no one could even think this caterpillar could ever become that. That's the way you're supposed to do. Now, as I am, experiencing one of the greatest human challenges, which is called old age, and we would very much that the Lord had given us the gift to heal people of old age, but I don't see that gift anywhere, and I don't see it. I think we can be renewed. I think we can become strengthened, and like Moses, died at 120 years old, and his strength was not abated, nor his eye dim. It's like he showed no deterioration from old age. Why? I believe it's because of the amount of time he spent in the presence of the Lord who is life, who gives life to all. And he had spent so much time in the presence of life himself that I believe if the Lord hadn't killed Moses, he would still be here. And that's my opinion. I can't prove that in Scripture. And but he had imbibed so much life in the presence of the Lord that he wasn't deteriorating. He wasn't suffering old age. Now I want to find that in Moses. And we're told we have a better covenant than Moses. And we not only can spend time in the presence of life, we have life himself living in us. In us. As Paul said, it's Christ in you that is the hope of glory. We don't just walk with him. He is growing in us. Can you imagine the awe and wonder that Mary, the mother of Jesus, must have had when he was growing in her? When Jesus, the Prince of Peace, the Prince of Life, Almighty God, was growing in her. And she had no doubt about who he was. And I think every Christian should live with that same awe and wonder. She went through some terrible challenges. I can't imagine enduring some of the things she did as a mother with her son, much less knowing the Son is the Son of God Almighty. And, but, this has come to pass. It will pass. This, Paul called them the momentary light afflictions of this life will all pass. I don't care what you're going through. It's going to pass. Haven't they all passed so far and you're still here? You didn't think you were going to make it. You didn't think you were going to survive some of those. You're still here. Imagine that. And they're all going to come to pass. And every time we should be growing in grace, growing in faith in Him. But this body is deteriorating. So our faith can't be in ourselves as much. That's why I think He called Abraham when he was already too old. Think about the father of faith was called when he was an elder, a senior, and really old. And then God made him wait decades longer for the fulfillment of the promise. And it says in hope against hope, he believed. He did not become weak in faith, but with the passage of time, he grew stronger in faith. Now that's a key point. Is that what we're doing? Are we growing stronger in faith with the passage of time? I know many things. I've watched people who had great promises from God, and they lost faith so fast, it was shocking. They didn't know, wait a minute, every promise of God, you've got to go through a wilderness to get to the promised land. And that wilderness is usually the exact opposite of what you've been promised. They were promised milk and honey, a land of milk and honey. Where they were led at first, there wasn't any water. And they had to come to know the supernatural provision of God. We have got to know the supernatural provision of God. And we've got to have faith in Him and trust in Him that we're not going to become weak in faith when the troubles come upon us. And no matter how long it takes, we've got to trust Him and believe Him. And so we get to do this. It's not so much we have to, we get to. And guess what? The ultimate outcome is already predetermined. It's already been done in heaven. Jesus was crucified before the foundation of the world. Everything was already settled. It's already been settled. And your victory in Him has already been settled. All you have to do is trust Him. Believe in Him. Now, I was, I have to admit, there were some situations we were in driving in New York this past weekend when I thought a couple of times, we may not get out of this. This is intense. But we always did. Made it back fine. Julie had one little crack up, ran to these posts that were protecting a fire hydrant and damaged the rental car some. But other than that one thing, it's like, we've been in many countries driving in there where we thought sometimes we'll never get out of here. I thought that in the middle of Athens, Greece. It's impossible to get out of here. We're in it now. We'll never get out. That traffic there, the drivers there, and all. I've been in a lot of crazy places in Africa and Caribbean and all over where there are crazy drivers, but I've never seen anything like Athens. And, but guess what? I always did. Always get back here to heaven on earth. And you will too. You will. Just don't ever give up. And when you get to the point where you think you can't take any more, that's when you know you're close. Because He promised not to let you go past that point. So just hang on a little longer. I was able, when I was in the Navy, to hold my breath underwater for about 3 minutes But I didn't get there all at once. I built it up, and I learned there was a point where I hit this major learning experience when I was diving. Uh, when you think you cannot take any more, cannot hold your breath any longer, relax. Just relax and keep holding your breath. And could go on much further than I thought I could go. Much, much further. And it was easy. There was a point where it got the hardest, and when I relaxed, it became the easiest. And went way beyond what I thought were my own limitations. Relax in the Lord. That's what we have to do. Relax in Him. Keep your peace. Do not ever lose your peace. So it's the God of peace who will crush Satan under your feet. He didn't say the God of war. He didn't say Lord of hosts. The title he uses more than 10 times more than all of his other titles combined. He is the Lord of hosts. He is a warrior. But he says it's the God of peace that will crush Satan under your feet. Don't ever lose your peace. So, anyway, I am so happy to be back. And I was quite happy that the Yankees won the Subway Series against the Mets. I like the Mets too. I love the miracle that the Mets have when the worst team in baseball since they were born as a team. And then one year, all of a sudden, they won the World Series. And it was a miracle. And so Mets are a great team too, but I've been a Yankees fan since I was a little kid, 10 years old, I think. And it was great to go to Yankee Stadium. Wonderful place. And really one of the nicest stadiums. And I've been in many major league stadiums and football and all kinds of stadiums, but it was just really comfortable, nice. We were surrounded by Mets people all over, intermingled with Yankees fans. Everybody, screaming for their team and all enjoying each other. We had such a good time. But, that's a thing too. I took that as, America's so divided right now not just between Yankees and Mets fans, even though that's a major division too. But I was so impressed by the way all the Yankees and Mets fans just had a good time with it, cheered their guys on, and, cheered when the other team made a mistake or failed or whatever. And it was all in fun and everybody liked each other. It just seemed to go so well. I thought, good night. If New Yorkers can do this, can get along like this over this major division in their city, can't we get over all the stuff that there's so much bitterness and hatred right now. And we've got to learn to relax. And even though someone may have the opposite opinion, you're yelling at them or insulting them or whatever is not going to help change them. It's the God of peace that is going to crush Satan under our feet. It's the God of peace who's going to crush the divisions in our country and unite us. Can you believe that? That's what it's going to be. I know we all look like, we're still heading for civil war, and I pray as much as I was shown it was right and it would be successful. We can't do it in hatred. Then we're no better than anyone else because the hatred is the worst characteristics. It's worse than having a wrong position on laws or policies or anything else, is to do it with a wrong spirit. Then you're really wrong. then you've been changed by the evil into that image. But when we can keep our peace and see other people through the eyes of the Lord, the Prince of Peace, who when, he saw what was wrong with mankind. He didn't criticize us, didn't scream and holler at us. He laid down his life for us. He loved us and laid down his life. And we were more contrary to him than any political issue had divided us. So just think about that. How is the God of peace able to use us to bring reconciliation and understanding? But anyway, that's my message for today. I just hadn't spoken to you in a while and just wanted to share a little bit. I hope it was meaningful to you. Enjoy this wonderful day, the day that the Lord has made. And we really want to thank him. And let's wake up every day thanking him and go to bed at night thanking him, because we enter his gates with thanksgiving. We enter into his presence when we're a grateful, thankful person. And in his presence, there's fullness of joy. And that's my hope for you today. So thank you for joining me for today's rant.
God is Morning Star Universe. God is moving at Morning Star University. We believe the wind of his spirit is blowing and calling a new generation higher.
This school is for the wild ones, the risk takers, the revivalists, the burning hearts who know there's more.
More prayer, more power, more purpose, more of his voice, and more of his presence.
If you're looking for your tribe, your people, your family, you just found it here at MSU.
Here, you're not just a student, you're part of a family that's chasing after God together.
We're here to help you go deeper in the supernatural, grow in the prophetic, discover your purpose, and be equipped for your calling.
Whether you're called to missions, worship, or the marketplace, we'll help train you, empower you, and send you out with fire and direction.
And if you hear the call to join us, we will be here to help you discover your purpose, give you the training you need, and support you all along the way.
This isn't just a school, it's a family and it's a movement.
Applications are open, the wind is blowing. Will you follow it?
Visit mstaru.com for more information or to apply today.